Forget the Mutants, this new Turtles arcade port should have been renamed to Tmnt Wrath of the Gamer, because going for the Nightwatchers Trophy and the Platinum in this game really peed me off, and you can tell this game was meant for the arcades, as it really is BS sometimes, like this right here. Or how about this one? Or even that? Those are just the tip of the iceberg of what you must suffer when trying to unlock Nightwatchers in TMNT Wrath of the Mutants. And no other trophy encapsulates the frustrations I had playing this game better than Nightwatchers, which is unlocked for beating the game on hard, and funny enough, it's the hardest thing you're going to do in an otherwise easy Platinum Trophy journey. In total, there are 6 stages, and the game can be beaten in about an hour or so it's a short but sweet slice of Ninja Turtles action. However, playing on hard is a real pain, and you will likely fail at the end of a level boss time and time again, as you are savagely drained of all your health by the simplest of enemies' attacks. You see, on hard, you only get 2 lives and 2 continues, and while thankfully these are reset when starting each level, you'll soon realise that on hard, your lives are really precious, and there's no way to earn more lives during a level, despite the game having a score and point system, which leaves that feeling rather pointless, especially when there's no online co-op to actually compare against other people across the world. So the lack of lives and continues really is what makes this mode hard, as there aren't more enemies or anything like that. Your turtle is weaker though, especially against the bosses, and those are definitely going to be the sticking points in the level when going for this trophy, because frustratingly, each level has a sub-boss and a final boss, so if you were to die too many times in the level, or against that sub-boss halfway through it, you'll likely not have enough lives to get you through the rest of the level and past the final boss, and getting a game over means going right back to the start to try that level again, and on tough levels like the amusement park, the TCRI building, and even Dimension X, it can really start to annoy you having to play them over and over again. Wrath of the Mutants really is cheap at times, and the enemies with guns are probably the worst, as they will oftentimes shoot you from off screen, taking big chunks of your health off you when you can't even see them, and even when they're on screen, enemies can still be BS, like those red foot soldiers who will throw dynamite at you that just seems to lock onto your position and hit you no matter what you do. Then there's some levels which contain gimmicks like this big eye thing that shoots lasers at you, or how about when Krang attacks you from the level's background. These are areas where you can easily mess up and lose a lot of lives, as these gimmicks are kind of BS and hard to avoid, mainly because, well, bafflingly, this game has no block button, and there is also no evade or roll move either, so it becomes a really awkward experience just trying to get out of the way of an enemy's attack. You can either walk out of the way or try and jump away from them, however the jump is really slow, and I usually ended up getting hit whenever I tried to jump out of the way anyway. These emissions aren't much of a problem on easy or normal, but when you're playing on hard and you're trying to save your lives for the final bosses, getting hit and losing health because there's no block or dodge button becomes a real glaring omission that annoyed me just ever so slightly. Now, to counter that a little bit, levels do contain things to help you like power-ups and assists, and each strike you land fills up your turtle's power meter, allowing you to unleash a turtle-powered super move when it's filled, though as we are playing on hard, these are really a watered-down version of them that doesn't really do that much damage. You can also get health within the levels via pizzas, of course, however, they almost seem to be put in the most BS of places. Like sometimes it's before a sub-boss, which is great, but other times it's long afterwards when you've already died since then and no longer really need the pizza anyway. And annoyingly, with these types of old school strolling beat-em-ups, you can't run back to the left side of the screen either, so you can't just leave a full pizza and come back to it later. In terms of the levels, like I mentioned, The amusement park, the TCRI building, and I'd say Dimension X took me a couple of attempts to beat them, because they were either really long stages, or they had tough bosses, or sections in them with bad pizza placements, but they were nothing compared to the final level, Shredder. This is the one that will make or break your chances of getting this trophy, and the platinum. And it's weird because the level is fairly short, with quite a few pizzas thrown in, but the problem is you have to fight 3 bosses in this stage, and if you don't go into the Shredder fight with 2 continues, you're going to have a really hard time surviving his fights. The sub-boss Karai is also a real pain in the backside to try and defeat, and you'll likely lose 1 or worse 2 lives to her, so just getting to Shredder is a real challenge. These boss fights are really awkward, and Shredder has some really annoying moves that can quickly steal your health, like this tornado move, which is made even harder to dodge by one of these annoying Foot Clan guys who just comes for you every single time, and if you try and hit him, you'll find yourself flying into the tornado and getting damaged even more. And he also has that big punching move that just sends you flying across the room, and that's also a big hitter. Plus, when you finally defeat Shredder, he, of course, turns into Super Shredder, a bigger and stronger version of him, who now can actually heal himself. Great. You will die here a lot, quite often cheaply and unfairly, and while it's not impossible, it is really annoying and BS, which is why the Nightwatchers Trophy in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Wrath of the Mutants deserves a BS trophy rating of